So what's up, y'all?
Oh, I'll intro. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of the Soup Kitchen and Podcast. I think this is episode 6 now. I'm back in my hometown, chilling with a bunch of my high school friends. And we're gonna talk about a bunch of nonsense.
Well, it's crazy.
Yeah. You guys remember that time frame when a lot of the YouTube videos were Minecraft tutorials of European guys? Hello guys, welcome to the Minecraft tutorial. Today we show
British, not European.
Or whatever.
To spice this up a bit, who here is a Republican? Raise your hand.
Whoa, really?
I feel like
wow,
you're
that many.
Johnny, who raised their hand? I didn't see.
Huh?
I didn't even
No,
look.
no.
Shiro.
Nobody raised a hand.
Nobody raised their hand?
I thought the joke was that they couldn't see us raise our hand through audio.
Who here's a Democrat? Okay.
The joke is still they can't see us raise our hand through audio.
Well, you're supposed to acknowledge.
What a weird proportion amount of people.
I didn't expect that at all.
What's the deal with AIDS? What's going on with that?
Yeah, what is going on? That's almost done.
Apparently, it's getting cured soon. From what
They
I
said that
understand.
2 years
people
ago.
have been cured by it, overseas.
By
somewhere.
AIDS.
That's a shame.
No, it's actually awesome. That's amazing.
They were cured from life with AIDS.
That's pretty cool.
You lame-o! You should have died with the rest of them.
I never hear anything about any of those mainstream diseases now. I'll just
AIDS?
Yeah.
Ligma.
You know, AIDS is only a mainstream disease because they taught us that stuff in school. It's a very non-mainstream disease.
I'm just saying, I don't hear anything about diseases these
Hey,
days.
floss.
It's because everybody's too worried about people pushing non-vaccines.
Look at that black kid.
Hey,
Like,
vaccines
like
are
ninja
the
thing.
devil.
Snuggie? Are you
Oh,
It's like,
Snuggie?
does it
I just
really
got
bad?
over me. Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah, no.
I have a sad anecdote from my dad about that. He was all mad because they're making my sister get vaccines before she went to school. And she's like, a bunch of bullshit. They're forcing these vaccines on these kids. It's fucking retarded. I'm like,
Does your dad live in a bunker?
no.
Is your dad retarded?
I don't know.
Does anyone listen to this?
No, he won't. None of my family ever will. I keep saying, and they go, how's that podcast doing? I'm like, it's okay. Made a video last week.
Just listen to it. It's just you talking crap about your family 24/7.
No, I don't talk
You know
crap
what?
about
Understand me,
Fuck my
man.
parents and their faces.
No, I don't know. My dad just believes in a lot of stuff. I don't know. I don't know why he believes in all that
This
stuff.
is where we start crying.
He's wrong.
No.
Hey, there was a
He's one of those people that genuinely doesn't trust science. Not genuinely doesn't trust science, but a lot of the stuff he does, you only don't trust vaccines if you don't trust science. So, and there's a lot of things like that, and he's a big conspiracy guy. He has he's the chemtrails, and I don't know how deep into it he is either, because he's
Does he
somewhat-
believe jet fuel melts steel beams?
I don't know, but he's somewhat self-aware of it, because he'll say I'll talk about Alex Jones, and he'll say, that was a bunch of bullshit. They were just trying to blah 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 blah, and I was like, all right, he'll never tell me how much he's actually into.
Didn't he slap an InfoWars sticker on your car though?
Yeah, he did slap an InfoWars sticker on my car.
Kind of contradictory.
pwned a libtard, huh? Epic pwned.
Rubs in.
The only
Hey,
reason why
there-
Alex Jones got popular was due to his Bohemian Grove video. And that was really it.
I don't know what that
Well, no,
is.
and he also went after Bush as well.
Yeah.
That's what got him popular too.
Well, the thing is about the Bohemian Grove thing, that's actually true. They actually proved that right. And they're like, oh shit, he's actually
That's a real secret.
He's right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's with half of his
You
stuff.
guys talking about Alex Jones right now?
Yeah.
Yes.
I love you. No.
Yeah, I love him.
What does he write about?
Big fan.
The
Can you send me
Bohemian
your
Grove.
book?
What's the Bohemian Grove?
It's a secret
say
society a bunch
patterns.
of the U.S. elites go to.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
They worship a giant owl statue.
Oh, yeah,
Shit.
they do.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's fucking
No,
weird.
Like
Weird.
out in the
Effigies of
forest or
humans.
whatever.
Yeah, they just
I'm sure
Don't
they
they
do.
sacrifice kids too?
I don't believe
I don't believe that part, but they do
It's like effigies.
They do have a wicker man that they burn. It's kind of cool. It's super occultic.
Yeah.
I think the worst part, for me, the worst thing with all these conspiracy theories is never what's actually true and what isn't true. Is more because you never actually find out. You just get evidence of oh, it sounds like it's true, but no, you never get any real clarification or clarity or closure with it. The thing that the worst part of it for me is if everything Alex Jones said true except for the really far out there stuff like the 4 dimensions of hell and the pedophile vampire stuff, this stuff that's just straight not in existence. The sad part is I wouldn't be that surprised. If all the things he said were true, I could believe it. It's not that it is or isn't. It's just that I could believe it.
I think
That's,
the
the worst
pedophile
part.
vampire thing is an analogy. Bless you.
Yeah, I've never actually heard it. I've only heard it referenced, but
I wouldn't look too far into what Alex Jones says.
Do you know
So why are you
something
liberal?
working on that we don't?
well, I'll have to cut that out now.
Sorry.
Well, no. But
Dylan works for.
no,
Dylan.
no. I just,
You guys make this so hard.
like they see.
This
Those are
entire
hard.
section
I
is
see
just
what
gonna be
you
cut
mean.
out. So
But,
get what you want to say out now.
yeah.
That might.
But no, I think that Alex Jones, like for the most part, on like a lot of shit, like Alex Jones is like a performance actor. That's all Alex Jones is. He's not.
Yeah, no.
He's not being honest, saying that he believes in those things. He's a fucking snake oil salesman. That's all. The reason he is popular is because of the shock value, and the way that people take like Infowars and like Alex Jones. Like, I'm not saying that he shouldn't be taken seriously, because if you ever wanted to just report fucking news, sure, because Alex Jones is a pretty cool guy, but like some of the shit that Alex Jones says is just very fucking far out there, and I wouldn't believe a whole lot of what he says.
That's what a pedophile vampire would say.
A vampire
true.
pedophile.
I don't
That's
know.
true.
That's like a lot for it to just be like a. How long has he been doing this? Like
He's been doing
10,
it for a
12 years?
while.
That's a long time to be doing the same
like
act.
20 years.
Well,
And it's
I
not like
mean,
it's been profitable for him until now, I don't think.
No, it's been profitable for him. He's had Infowars since forever.
The late 90s.
I've never
Yeah.
heard of it until now.
Since the
No, he's
Bohemian
had
Grove
Infowars for a
incident.
while. People are always interested in that kind of shit. But I think it's all it is just it's shock value. It's shock
Yeah,
value.
as long as there's
That's all it is.
hillbillies and moonshine, there's
All the
conspiracy
people who
theories.
talked about fucking how the world's gonna end tomorrow because of fucking global warming and all this bullshit all the time. All they do, they rely on fucking shock value news.
That's a good segue. What do we think about climate change?
What do I think about climate change? I think that if humans don't stop fucking polluting the fucking earth, like soonish, then we'll go to a place of no return. Where
What are you, a liberal?
No, it's like global warming is 100% like a real fucking thing. That's like all you have to do to show anybody that global warming's a thing is point to the fucking polar ice caps and go, look.
Yeah,
Watch
I
them.
just-
But
think
some would
because they're
argue that
melted.
it's naturally like
I just say
that.
that it
They're
happens.
not naturally like that.
It
They're
happens
polar
throughout
caps.
history,
They're supposed to be
but-
solid. They're supposed to be solid things of ice. It's a cap, a polar cap. But I'm just saying that like, I think that humans have contributed to it.
No, I
Well,
100%
yeah,
believe that like we should just all be eradicated and let off the earth because humans are a plague.
That's edgy.
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. I
think we all agree.
I don't think so. I think that humans are a really interesting race of beings. Because there is always a chance that we are the only intelligent. We are the first intelligent life in the universe.
Beyond that, there's some sort of a like, I guess that's kind of where religion comes into the picture. But there could be a chance that if there is like no God or anything, and this is all just loop chance, like we could be the only beings with like a conscience out there too, and sentience.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think too. I think in a lot of ways, religion is obviously something that people can look to and like believe in and shit. But like religion exists for the sole purpose of what anything in this world exists for, and that's to make money. That's all it is. I mean, like.
I don't think so.
I think that like there's a God, but I think that there's no like God that created Earth. I think that
I don't think-
anything that's happened can be explained by science, but before the Big Bang and shit, yeah, there's probably fucking God. I don't know. There's like a deity. I don't know anything about.
I don't
that.
think
the Big Bang killed the deity.
I think
Wouldn't
that.
wouldn't that be cool? The Big Bang was the result of two gods clashing.
I think we came from a mother universe, and I think that something fell inside of a black hole, and the black hole crushed it to a point where it couldn't be crushed anymore, creating another singularity, and it exploded inside the black hole and made our universe, which is a sub-universe, to a much larger mother universe. But who made that one then? Because scientists only explain the Big Bang like this. They always say there was just particles floating around. Fucking where? Where were they floating around? What was there? What is existence?
I want to God. in a lot of places in like 30 seconds.
All right, just to recap.
Talk about Alex Jones.
I think we can move on from Alex Jones. I think we can come back to that later. But I was gonna say with religion,
Demonetized.
I think if you go back far enough, I think religion is more so just to make sense of the things like people don't understand. Because there's before like any sort of science, there was so much shit that just didn't make sense. Just none of it made any sense, and it's just to explain natural phenomenon. So I mean, like, there's no reason for a small group of 6 cavemen traveling around the world to invent that. Where's the economic value in having religion? And there's been not sacramental, but there's been gross. There's been like sort of not religious, but ceremonial burials for a very, very long time now, like dating back to cavemen, which that's not something that animals do.
Yeah.
You say that
There's also sacrifices.
you ask like what like money has what has really contributed like money wise to religion.
That's not what I said.
What did you say?
I said there's no need for a group of 6 cavemen to
Well,
have
no, I'm not
religion
saying,
economically.
I'm not saying to
Is that what we argue?
Yeah.
I'm saying that nowadays,
Okay, then yeah. I mean that's.
like the sole existence of religion really, like, truthfully, is money.
In the
I mean that's
modern
not
age.
true either for
It's
people
money
like
and
us
power.
who don't gain anything from believing in a religion. Like I'm not getting money.
True, but there's plenty of people who gain things
Yeah.
from being in a religion.
But that doesn't make its sole purpose just money.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying that religion's sole purpose is money. I'm not
No, it's
saying that. Well, I'm this is my opinion. Like, I'm saying that.
You're talking
that-
about organized religion or the fact that someone is religious?
No, organized religion. You could be religious. I don't blame anybody for being religious. Why? How else would you make sense of things that happen? You don't know anything.
You basically just discredit everything, get edgy, and pretend like nothing matters.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying that like
Thanks for
religion
calling me
has
out.
a huge play in only contributing into itself.
I think that even organized religion isn't completely and solely about money.
I think that a majority of it is. I'm not
No.
saying that it's solely about
Have you,
money.
have
but
you
I'm
ever
just-
been into a Catholic church?
Yeah.
They hand out that basket, but you don't have to put money into it. It is literally free donation.
Yeah, I'm not talking about giving donations at church.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about.
That's how they make their money.
And that's not how they make their money.
That, and then they do like a lot of other things like on the side. They don't just like magically scheme money from people. They
Do you
do
know
like
how
other
much
things.
tax the Vatican pays?
None.
None. Do you know why?
Because they're based somewhere
No.
solely else.
No, because Mussolini and the Pope made a deal that it would ravish the country's infrastructure with money if the Vatican
So isn't that a
didn't pay
good thing?
tax. Well, I'm just saying that like the Catholic Church made like a big deal with like a dictator. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you can like.
So you're looking at one instance of something that happened during a corruption period, and then you're basing that. off
But
of
the corruption period wasn't supposed to be the Catholic
It
Church.
happens. Have you never committed?
like you have no
some
concept of the
sort
background noise.
small thing?
I know, but that's not the same thing.
He's born
I'm not talking about a group of like a couple people from a church that
Quiet.
I'm
don't.
talking about like you.
I'm talking about the
you
Pope.
yourself have never made a mistake.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes,
I understand
and
that
people
that
get
would be
elected-
considered a
yeah,
mistake, but
people
I'm just
get elected
saying.
into, like,
I'm just
huge
saying they
positions.
still pay no
Yes.
taxes because of a deal they made with the dictator.
Yeah,
That's
and
all.
that's a little bit kind of fucked.
I mean, that's a little shady. I'm not saying that if you're a Catholic you're a bad person or anything. I get believing
What the
in
hell
God.
are they Catholic?
I can understand that. Like, I'm not an atheist. I'm an agnostic person. Like, I don't think that, I don't know. I don't know anything. The only things that I can explain are things that I've learned through science. Beyond that, I don't feel comfortable in giving myself to a higher power that may not be there. You know, we're here for zero. We've been here for. We're all going to end up being here for 0.001% of the Earth's entire lifespan.
It's probably
And
a
I
lot,
don't think that
it's a lot smaller.
my
than that.
life should be. It's actually not. It really isn't, because the average lifespan, if I'm basing it off of 100, it's about like correct. I'm talking about. Not talking about like future lifespan. I'm talking about like from then to now.
From the creation of planet Earth to now.
Yeah, it's not been as long as you think.
001.
That's about what it is. I think. I believe.
What?
0.001.
I'd be surprised.
What?
Isn't the Earth a few what is it, trillion?
Yes.
Yes.
That already sounds wrong.
What do you?
Okay, it's something fucking small is the point.
How old is the planet?
Okay, it's something small. So I'm saying I don't feel comfortable giving like my life up to a higher power just because.
What do you mean giving your life up to a higher power?
I mean putting everything that I believe in up into something.
Like strapping a bomb to my chest and, you know.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
I'm not gonna do that. But I'm not necessarily talking about that.
Is that topical?
You know, there's a lot of-
Give your life to Allah.
Jesus.
Stop beating around the bush, Kevin. Just say it.
I think there's just a lot of
Caleb's a
corruption
Muslim.
in religion. I don't think that religion's a bad thing though.
I just think people that, like, no offense, Tyler, but say that kind of, like, edgy stuff or just, like, are comfortable with the concept of just, like, oh, nothing matters and I'm just going to die anyway. I just don't think they're really thinking about, like, that actual idea. I think anybody comfortable with that is either just a weird organism or just isn't thinking about it.
Well, it's not that I'm comfortable with that. Like I'm not comfortable with the thought of dying and being nothing. But I'm saying that like there's nothing that I can do to control what happens to me when I die. So. I mean, on the off chance that there is, I'm not going to do anything horrible, but I'm just saying that, like, I'm not saying that it doesn't matter where you go, I'm just saying that I have other ideas to where you go. I don't think that when you die, you turn into, there's just nothing, because that would be stupid. There's no point of us being alive if that's the case, you know what I mean? So I'm saying that when you die, I'm sure something happens, but I'm not one to say what it is, and I'm not one to say that I necessarily look forward to or don't look forward to dying. I don't want to die, obviously, and I don't want my life to not have meaning when I do die and go off to a higher power.
Are you afraid of dying, or are you afraid of the fact that you don't know how you're going to die and if it's going to be painful?
I'm not. I mean, I'm afraid of dying, but I'm not afraid of. I mean,
like, are you afraid
you'll
of?
never know how you're gonna die, so.
Full circle.
Yeah, I'm not really.
I can't be afraid of something that I don't know is gonna happen.
Mason just die. You hear
Yeah.
that?
Was that downstairs?
Yeah.
Is that a cat?
Oh no, there's a video of a lizard trying to get on a bed.
Oh.
Chris, you're Jewel.
Jesus.
It's a Yoshi noise.
I think the only reason why death is scary is just because it's something you haven't experienced. And
Oh, yeah.
you can't ever experience until you're in it. That's why I think people are scared.
Well, I think it's like the same thing as birth. You're not going to remember it,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? So.
And how bad was that? Obviously not that bad.
Yeah, because you don't really remember it. Well, what if it was like extremely painful and you don't remember it? Your brain just suppressed that, you know. So.
Well, that I guess same could be done with dying.
I don't like a lot of aspects of the human condition whilst living on Earth, because it's like a lot of people give themselves up to a higher power, and I don't think that's like a. I don't see how we could be so like cocky and bold to say what it is, like undeniably and for sure what happens when you die.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
I just think that it's not something that I can decide on. So personally, I'm not like I don't live my life for something else. You know what I mean?
It's all just.
I give myself purpose.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I feel like yourself can only give you so much purpose, and in a way, God, whatever it is, right? Like me personally, I think it's a he. But that's just because, like, I'm actually
Sexist?
No,
I'm good.
I'm not sexist whatsoever. Actually,
I think if there's a God in the
people
sense,
say like God is a woman.
I think that
I
if
don't hate that at all.
Quoting
feminist
Ariana
propaganda.
Grande.
I don't hate that whatsoever.
listen, I think if there's a God at all that exists in the sense that every religion thinks of it, it is far beyond the concept of genders. There's no gender to apply to an omnipotent, godlike being. I don't think he's got a cock hanging out, and if he does, I'm sure he can get rid of it right away. Like, I don't think it matters at that point.
I think whatever is out there and whatever controls how things come to existence and how life forms, I think it's something that's beyond human understanding.
Yeah.
So I don't understand, and I don't want to understand. Well, I mean, I think that if we could understand, that'd be kind of cool to understand, but I don't know, like just the universe is a scary fucking place.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you think, so you can either go with the idea of, there's got to be something, and you can dip into, what you choose to follow, or if you just believe in something at all. And then if you're just atheist and there's just no purpose to anything, it's even scarier because it's just purposeless.
Being atheist and living a life seems like a fucking unfun experience because at the end of the day, your whole belief system is based off the fact that nothing happens when you die. So
Well,
you're
nothing-
automatically like, what's the purpose of you fucking living if nothing happens when you die? So you can better the world of no reason.
Because why does it matter? Because you'd be dead
Why
anyways.
wouldn't you want to better the world?
But also at the same time, I mean, it's like, then I've got nothing holding me back. I've got no cock in the sky telling me that I can't go rape that bitch. Or, I mean, that's an extreme example.
I mean, I
just
don't think
in
people
general,
can-
saying that I can't just do whatever I want.
You heard
I've
that,
got no
guys?
reason to
Caleb
just
is-
do whatever I want.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
The only thing keeping me
People
from
have
raping is
morals.
God.
people have morals in life.
It doesn't directly derive from religion.
Yeah.
What, morals? No, but they're a strong supporter of it.
Yeah, religion and morals. I think religion isn't a bad thing to teach people because religion teaches people morals, and I think that if you instill a set of morals into somebody and they don't necessarily believe in a deity still, I don't think that that's a bad thing.
I think it's more along the lines of being just like innately human to not want to be a bad person.
It's not though. There's plenty of bad people who want to be bad people.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, the grand scheme of things, they're more quote unquote good people than bad people.
You don't know that though.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I think most of the people I encounter on a daily basis, I could argue, are like either neutral or bad people. On a small scale, anyway. I feel like a lot more people harm on a daily basis than help.
I think you're hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Yeah, Caleb,
I'm just
do you
going to
need help?
school.
Yeah. I think you're
Drop
going to the
out.
wrong school.
Yeah, get out of a liberal college.
I actually don't mind like liberal talk either. Like, see, that's where
Oh,
everyone.
your liberal knees.
Everyone are like-
I'm basically liberal, so.
I don't know. Everyone always just like thinks that
Libtard.
as soon as you have like some conservative views that you automatically hate liberal point of views. But to me, I think that everyone can actually work together in this world to like make it a better place.
I think it's more of a meme than anything.
Yeah.
I like all the memes that my Aunt Betty posts on Facebook.
About
They
what?
always make me like laugh like a little bit just because like they're always so epic and so like so great. They're always like it's like always like a long list of shit too. It's like that meme where it's like giving just like a bunch of standard ass viewpoints in one like it was like delete me if you don't agree with this and then it's
It's
like
like 6 things.
it's like Obama and Hillary should go to jail. Trump is the best.
Yeah.
Fuck the NFL. like it's all like very like weird things
Well, I
to
don't
be
like
saying
Trump.
in a sentence. I don't know.
even
I don't think there's anything wrong with being a conservative person. There's only so many ideas you can believe in this lifetime.
Well, you
yeah,
honour.
man, see, that's the thing. Like,
She's got a
I
crush on
choose
you,
not
Tyler.
to
No thanks.
pick that as like me personally. Like, I don't think that I have like full blown conservative views because like a lot of conservative people don't like gay marriage and they don't like homosexuality in general. But me, I have no problem with it.
What I don't like about like I guess Democrats or the left or whatever is their very 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 beginning ideas are decent, some of them, but I feel like where everything ends up is so far from where it started and isn't even the original idea
And
anymore.
it's
Like, you
just
take
because
the
we all go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, they
And
take
move
the
the
concept of
line.
feminism and it's like the idea is like, alright, cool, like the overall idea is the equality of the sexes and
Yeah.
in particular the idea is since men are above you raise the women to meet that, or that was the idea, and it's like, alright, let's do that. But that's where it's at now, like if I followed that, I should basically just kill myself as a white cisgendered male. I'm doing nothing but hurting.
Yeah. I don't think
Just
you're
by
a bad
existing.
I don't even think that you're a bad
So,
person,
yeah,
which is why I feel like you shouldn't put someone in a
Jeremy's
box.
not.
like
Oh,
that.
sorry. I didn't realize.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
Well,
It's a good podcast.
you know, let's
Yeah.
play rock paper scissors now.
Alright, I was gonna personally talk about my little religious beliefs a little bit.
Go
All
for
right.
it, go for it,
No
man.
one cares
Like,
about your podcast.
I think you might
Larry.
like it, Johnny, and you might like it, Dylan. So
What about me?
I'll
Am I gonna like
Go
it?
for it,
I already
Tyler.
told you guys about it. I think
Yeah.
you were sleeping, but I told
He's a
you.
Buddhist?
No, I woke up
Remember?
and he asked me if I believed in God.
Caleb's a
I was like, I just
jihadist.
woke up. That's a big
Wait, were you like
question.
sitting by your bedside and she woke up, just opened her eyes with your face there? Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I was sleeping right here, and that was basically it. They're like, "Are you dreaming about anything?" I was like, "No, why?" They're like, "Oh, we were talking about God." I'm like, and then I just went on a whole like rant thing.
Where's Mason?
Mason
Died.
died, didn't you
Yeah, I
know?
don't know what happened.
Where did he go?
He's
Is
trying
he
to avoid
okay?
the podcast, huh?
Yes, sir.
No avoiding the podcast, Mason.
Let's talk about sexual experiences, everyone.
I wasn't done yet.
No, I know.
Oh, I got some
Jeez,
stories for you.
okay, yes, let's go.
God. Alright, I'll just sit that one out. Let you guys go nuts.
Caleb, you've
I have
had
this-
your own
yeah,
fair
you-
Come
share
on.
of escapades.
Didn't we talk
Yeah,
about
they're
this
all
last
memes.
time?
You
Yeah,
fisted
we
a few
did.
chicks.
I'm not
Okay, let's stick to religion then.
Yeah, get some.
Well, yeah, I want to actually hear that first.
So, my for a long time I was Christian, and my only reason why I'm not like a dead set Christian is just because I'm indecisive with most things anyway. But with that in particular, I guess it's sort of what you said, Dylan.
Is he okay?
How it's like I don't really feel comfortable just throwing my all into it. And it's like I want to like. I hate the concept of that literal meme where like you guys have probably seen it. Where it's like Jesus knocking on the door. It's like, hey, let me in. It's like, why? So I can save you. It's like, from what? From what I'm gonna do if you don't let me in. Like I hate that idea. That's genuinely how it is. It's like, accept me into your heart, so I don't have to fucking punish you for not doing that. It's like that's a stupid concept to me. I hate that idea.
See, because even God who... Okay, so for that example, that meme actually got it wrong. So if you look into like the New Testament and everything, it actually says like even Gentiles, like people who don't necessarily believe in that type of God, they can still be saved because God is very merciful.
Well,
in
then
that sense.
I guess that's more what I'm rooting for, because I went through a whole thing when I was doing my philosophy classes last semester, I think, or last year maybe, and I kind of just came down to the conclusion of it where it's like, listen, I think if there is my idea was that I think the universe is far too complex for there not to be some sort of sentience or mind behind it, because when you like study the human body and biology and you just realize the amount of complexity in a single cell, it's fucking nuts. And the fact that any of this is possible at all, and the different like the specializations of cells, and the fact that every idea you have, this entire conversation is just powered by electrical synapses in your brains and your neurons, which you don't even fully understand. Like, why does this synapse matter compared to that one? Where does sentience come from? Like, there's just so much weird shit going on, and it's so insanely complex in one species of like creatures, and then the stuff that we've been able to create as a species of creatures, the level of complexity that we've been able to create on top of just this ball of earth with organisms on it. It's just nuts. Like, there's just so much going on, and it's crazy. So I feel like it's far too complex for there's not to be some sort of mind behind it. I don't think
me of Bandersnatch.
what?
It reminded the way you're explaining it.
The
Oh.
Black Mirror
You
episode.
could hear the numbers.
It's all code. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the numbers.
Pass.
I love when his lip starts raising. But yeah, I think like I just think it's too complex, and I don't think we've been here with nearly enough time for that to just arise as it is. It's just, I don't know. And you know, there's like the spiritual feelings and stuff you get. Like there's just, and humans are weird. I don't know. But anyway, there's a few different reasons. But yeah, my idea is that I think there's like some sort of creator, some sort of God, and I think that God, in terms of me, if there's like a heaven and he cares about us or whatever, because like assuming that we were created by him or he had some sort of idea for us, assuming that he cares about us, then I think that when it comes to people and me, I guess, because this is, you know, a philosophy focused about me and what I believe, when it comes to me personally, I think he's ultimately more concerned in the like the character and the goodness of my soul than the specificness and the quality of my practice.
Yeah.
I don't think he cares as much about if I'm praising to him in this church or following this religious belief or not eating on this day or avoiding that animal. I think he cares a lot more about me trying to be the best person I can be and just actively working to do like whatever I can to be a good person.
Yeah.
And to care a lot more about that than he would like, oh, well, you didn't fully let me into your heart. You didn't really go to church very often, so you're kind of a cock. Like, I don't think he cares about that. That's kind of what I came down to.
Amen. Preach it, Caleb.
Now let's talk about homeless people.
Homeless people? Yeah.
They're a stain on society.
What if you were homeless?
Huh?
What if you yourself were homeless?
I'd kill myself.
I'm sure you would, you big idiot. I'm sure you just sit there and go, well, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like that life game. Spin the thing in the wrong area. Move too many spaces. Landed on bankruptcy.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do.
You're really
You
thinking
should
about
try to
it.
better yourself.
I'd live out in the woods. I'd try to survive.
You
If I'm gonna be homeless, then I'm gonna.
I know
live
a
out in the
person.
woods.
I know a person who went from I'm not going to mention her name.
No, you don't have to.
I was gonna
Please
say
don't.
I just do meth and scare people outside a grocery store.
Homeless bitch!
Just sit at Harkins at night and like wait in the dark shadows. The movies get out. Just go up and, can I have your popcorn?
Suck my dick, bitch!
Just ruin every kid's experience. Wait outside Castles and Coasters and try to get corn dogs off kids.
That happens.
Go see the best movies and just sit outside the movie theater. Nigga dies at the end!
If you were a homeless guy, would you like wait for people to exit the movies and sneak in the theater and then like hide?
I'd wave my ass at people through windows.
What window?
Just windows, like convenience store
Yeah.
windows. Whatever window.
What would you do if you came out a homeless guy just got his ass out in the corner like, enjoy folks, and you're just
What
like,
could you do?
let's go to our car. You can't stop.
Do you punch somebody in that situation? What do you do?
I don't know. Depends how far away they are from me.
You can't slap them on the cheeks
Closest to you.
and you give them a compliment.
If they're right in front of me doing it and they just took their pants down, yeah, I think I'd.
Just open palm slap their taint.
Yeah, basically, when I used to live back in like
Tickle the
Thunderbird,
balls.
no, it was literally like no matter like if you left anywhere after like 5 p.m., the place would be swarmed with homeless people. It was
Tickling their balls and
crazy.
shit.
The reason why we brought this up is because there's a homeless man in the entrance of our apartment, like near the convenience store, and we're like kind of annoyed.
Well, because they're actually not supposed to be here. Like, no, like, not anything mean against homeless people, but we have 24-hour security patrolling to make sure that they're not in here. And one was just in here. It was just like,
Well, I read like reviews where they like pass out underneath the stairwells and stuff here.
Would you rather them
Yes.
be imprisoned?
Yep.
no, I don't.
Honestly, yes, dude.
I'd rather
Like, not in a bad way. Like,
I think
Well,
there's too
they would
many
get-
people
They
in
would get like
prison.
free
Yeah, they would
would
get free food.
away, but then you're also exposing them to like a larger, like more violent crowd of criminals.
it's not like
I think there's too many people in
Not like
prison.
in prison,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
jailing them, but like you get like a homeless shelter for them.
Oh yeah, well there are homeless shelters, like
Well,
shelters.
it's
They
just-
You get, the
exist.
thing is you have to qualify.
No, you can actually just take someone there. I took a homeless person there.
Where, to prison?
No,
Took them straight to jail.
You're coming with
No.
me.
You're coming with me, buddy.
no, there's a
I
homeless
saw you
shelter.
steal that sandwich.
Citizens arrest.
There's an actual homeless shelter that's in downtown, and you can take like
If I change
women
my
there.
pants, will you
You
sit
can
with
take
me?
like they
Ah,
mostly.
you take the ladies there?
Well, yeah, I did, and I actually helped out someone who was like in dire need.
Sexist. Sexist. They say
No,
we're
it's very nice of John.
they say we're fighting for equality.
Yeah,
no,
well-
not you. You can
Johnny,
take-
you're a godsend and a hero.
I also gave
Help.
her a place to stay at my house for like about 2 weeks because I felt really bad, and then she ended up like
Stealing your shit.
No, she ended up getting engaged, and now she travels along the West Coast in a van with her husband, basically. So
It's cute.
She
So not homeless.
Did she slobber on you?
Slob on that knob. On the corner of the cob. I'm
I
taking.
can neither confirm nor deny.
Johnny fucked a homeless person. That's the only reason you helped her is because she put out.
No.
You fucking liar.
Listen
No,
up. If
that
you
is
guys
not.
ever end
She's
up
a
homeless,
nice person, I swear.
She gave you sloppy top in the car.
Oh,
She never blew me.
I said sloppy top.
That's gross.
I
She
would-
probably smelled bad.
No, she doesn't.
I would
Does she
let.
smell like armpit?
She wasn't. She wasn't
goddamn
actually okay. So she
That's why I married him.
lost her ability to pay rent at the place that she was at.
And
have
have children.
No, she actually didn't.
I love the way you put that. It sounded like she got like a disease and she just couldn't pay rent anymore. Like somebody took the ability to pay rent. Like
She
got
got
money.
hands.
She got.
I have all this
she
money
got
and I can't
broke
pay
ass
rent.
itis. No, I'm kidding.
She got broke bitch.
Broke bitch syndrome. No. But yeah, so she basically lost the like. So she had a job, and then that job ended up like firing her because like she couldn't make it to work one day, and it was actually because she didn't have any transportation, and that job was like, well, if you do call no show or you can't make it today, then you're fired. So she was like, well, that really sucks, and she wasn't able to make it. She couldn't make the rent. And then she was like, well, can I just stay with you? And then she ended up going back to California, finding that person, and yeah, they're engaged now. I actually know another person who actually had a very comfy life in the place that we all grew up in, and basically,
Was it Trey?
no, it wasn't. It was another girl actually.
Was she drinking that dumb bitch juice?
Trey, eh?
You know, yes. For the moment, I would actually say that.
She'd buy one every other week, you know.
No.
Buy a 2 liter. Sip on it.
Just drinking it. Oh, dumbass juice. No. So yeah, she actually lived in like a house that's pretty close to the country club, and then sooner or later her dad was like, I can't take you because she was also like bipolar and schizophrenic, and then she ended up going like, okay, well, I'm just gonna take a Greyhound all the way to California. So she did, and then she became homeless, met a really horrible, abusive, meth addict boyfriend, got addicted to meth for a little while, realized that her life was complete and utter garbage, and said, I want to change. And then she did, found a military person who actually like loves her, and now she has like a pretty decent sized apartment in Las Vegas. So
That's cool. I always want to help like homeless people and like down on luck people. They scare me.
But you just don't know. That's the problem. Is like you don't know how people are gonna be.
Well, yeah.
It's like hitchhikers. Like
Gonna type beat.
You want
No
to
matter how nice
hope
they
for the
look.
best in people, right? But like I mean, they were from like Anthem. So
Like I want to help.
Gonna
Like every time I
take
see
beat.
hitchhikers, I really want to help them out. But I'm so scared of just getting like murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
That like.
This goes back to my previous point of like, is it bad that I just don't care
About
No,
what?
it's not bad.
yeah, you could be
about
indifferent.
like people in need?
You could be indifferent, I guess.
You're just not charitable.
I just don't think you've been in that position yet.
Yeah.
But unless I don't
Yet.
know.
Hopefully never.
Well, I mean, like,
I saw the cats, guys.
I don't
As
think
long as
you're
I've got
ever
my
gonna
cats.
be able to sympathize with somebody unless you've been there. And I feel like the people who do help them have been in
They're a
similar
psychopath.
situations.
Well, it's like for years I sympathized with like cashiers, but now I'm kind of like getting to the point where I'm like, you know what? You're choosing to stay in your stupid position, so I don't care.
Why do
What
you?
a stupid group of people to sympathize with. Cashiers.
Okay.
Well,
I
that's
just
like
sympathize with
or
cashiers,
social
too.
workers.
Oh, that's better. Okay, I kind of get what you mean now when I
People
thought
who
about
just
it.
work in the retail environment.
People give those kind of people way too much shit.
Yeah.
Some
But now
people
it's
do.
like I'm kind of
Actually,
like
they give you a lot
reverting
more
to,
At the
shit in the
library,
food industry
they were
than
selling
they
the
do in
books.
retail.
Yeah. So,
It's just mostly
Really
because
good.
you're dealing with actual
Yeah.
food instead of
scratching the couch.
no.
like clothing items or items that people can just purchase at any time, and it's just mostly like returns and things like that. But if you fuck up someone's food, you bet your sweet ass that they're gonna hop on you. They're gonna be like, excuse me, my taco was too dry. Can you please take it back? I can't believe this is your fault specifically, server.
Excuse me, sir, there's not enough Asiago in my burrito.
By the way, give me another Modelo.
Bitches come in the
Essay?
bitches come to the coffee shop, get like a caramel macchiato, ask for extra syrup. We put like 6 pumps in there, and they go, I really can't taste the caramel. People say,
Where's the caramel?
it's like, here, just dump it over their head.
There's a lady
Go
at my
away.
work that will literally send back. She still comes in with her husband almost every single weekend, orders the same thing. She knows how it goes, and she sends it back for a different reason or the same reason every single time because it's like she just wants no oil on her taco with chicken and a tortilla only, and they have to cook it with oil to make it hot enough to cook the chicken on the grill, and then she'll send it back, and then they end up getting it free anyway.
I want this air fried.
Yeah, but
You steam my chicken?
Yeah.
When I worked at that really nice movie theater, there was a guy that would come in who was like notorious because he had like a catheter and he'd just leave the piss bag in the. Oh my God.
Notorious pig, the notorious piss bag.
He did it like he did it like twice in the time frame that I worked there, and I was like, somebody gonna stop this guy?
It's a repeat offender.
it's really gross.
Oh man.
What's wrong? You don't like a little pee?
No, back when I used to work at Journeys, this one guy, he was like some crazy dude. He walked in, and he just kept going on and on about how he's the one who retiled the entire mall. He did all this, like he's like the carpets are standing on, it's all me. And while he was standing there, he was
This
just
is my
peeing
house.
himself the entire time. We were just like, we looked down because like it started smelling. And like we just noticed his leg because he were in sweatpants and just like his legs started just changing color and there's like a big puddle around his feet.
Wait,
Jesus
where is this at?
Back when he used to work at the mall.
Oh, well, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
that was fucking crazy. Oh man, I have so many crazy stories from there. Like the piss man, that's one of them.
Wait, was this guy dying of diabetes? I missed the first part.
No, he was just some crazy old man. He just walked in and started peeing on the floor.
Oh, I thought you said his legs were changing color.
No,
No,
'cause- yeah, 'cause
Leg was changing color because he's pissing on himself.
yeah, like his sweatpants.
No, there's another
Oh.
time too. There was like for the longest time they used to have like those there was like they're not like kiosks, but they're like the people where it's like they'll just harass you and trying their makeup when you're in the malls and stuff like that. It's like one of
Yeah,
those.
kiosks.
Sure, awesome. And then yeah, so what did I say? It was there was like. Stop. No, but in front of our store there was one of those like makeup kiosks, and this guy, I guess, started like hitting on this one girl or something like that. Like that was the story of it, and then I guess her boyfriend came back and started hitting him in the head with a wrench. And like,
Jesus.
in the security footage, they're like passing it out to people. Like they're like in the mall, kept like getting transferred to like all the people who like ran the stores so they could see it as in like a defense if you see this man again. It was like a video of this guy just being beaten down with a wrench.
Jeez.
Yeah, what a menace being clobbered by that
Well, don't
douchebag.
flirt with someone's girlfriend. That's what you get.
Yeah, don't talk to people. You know what? Just keep your fucking head down, get through the wall, and go home. You talk to people, you're gonna get clobbered with my
It's
fucking
always the
wrench.
nice guys that finish last.
Yeah, the thing is though, it was like almost like a month situation. This guy would like have his other buddies come in and like harass this guy about like not talking to his girlfriend anymore and like
Jeez.
like whipping out like he like pulled his shirt with like a gun. I'm like, and the thing is though, like I'm all seeing this from like my little like
Little stand.
my little like counter,
some
my little
shoes?
shoe store.
Turkey
I'm, like,
legs.
I'm like sitting in my little shoe store trying to like do homework and shit because I was still in high school at the time, and it's just crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why am I here?
God. You guys think it's a valid response? The wrench man?
Depends.
Yeah, I think it just kind of went all out, but
Yeah, it's just
sure it's respectable.
the wrench man.
Yeah, it beats somebody to death with a wrench if they talk to you.
Well, it depends who they're talking to you. Like it depends definitely how they'd be talking to Jessica if they're talking to him.
The
It's that black
sad part
guy
is
at
the guy who
Walmart.
got beaten down was actually pretty nice. Like he was kind of a douche, but then like overall he was kind of a cool dude.
Well,
I guess if the guy was going up there like, hey bitch, I'm gonna rape you. I'm gonna rape you good. I'm gonna fucking destroy you. I'm gonna
rape that vagina of yours.
Like, that's different. But if he was just genuinely like trying to hit on a girl, I don't
Like
think
a
a
Jim
valid
and Pam
response is having his
situation?
life ended with a fucking blunt object in a mall.
Well,
he
see,
didn't
that's-
die, but he was out of commission for quite a while.
Dylan,
If
What?
I got hit with a wrench, I'd want to die.
remember in Walmart that black guy that was looking at Jessica and you almost fought him?
Yeah. That's what the fuck that guy had.
There's like a bunch of
Was
male
he like
lions.
following us around after that?
Nah, his fucking high ass was just walking around. That dude looked high as fuck, and he was just like staring at us. I just looked at him. I was like, "Are you good?" And he's like,
Super.
"Yeah, man." And I'm like, "Okay."
We walked away and you said like, get out of here with that or whatever.
You guys are like a bunch of male lions or feral cats.
No, dude.
I see
Like,
myself
I'm-
as a hyena.
look, dude. It's just a different
Every
kind. It's
dog
just a different
will
story.
laugh.
It's a different story when it's like your significant other. It really is.
I
Like,
guess.
I'm against fighting and all that shit.
Doesn't
I
seem
really
like
am, but when it's got something to do with that, I mean, you know, you gotta do it.
Like, was he just like staring?
Nah, dude, he's being a fucking creepy person.
Like how?
He was just fucking staring at her. Fucking every time he fucking walked by, he was just fucking staring at her ass.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't
It's
try to fight.
destined.
Do you want that?
Go get him, boys. A little bit of fire truck.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, go get him.
Go get that fire.
I don't know. I guess I would understand since I've been so lonely and single forever.
Caleb,
I know
you
what
just
it's
need to
like to
fucking
wanna
take
protect
the dick
somebody.
out of your pants and just let it loose, okay? That's your problem. That's your problem. Don't take your wiener out. But I'm just saying, Caleb,
Just
you
doing
just need to
Dylan
let
stuff.
it go.
Knocking on the doors. Listen, I'm just listening to my friend. He suggested this.
I'm just saying, Caleb, are you considered a nice guy?
Probably.
He's on the brain cells subreddit.
Men's rights.
Do you consider yourself a nice guy?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm a pretty indifferent guy.
I'm probably pretty close to what a nice guy is.
I mean, I'm pretty nice to people
I hate
when
that you
talk
can't-
to them, but
I hate that the word's been so tainted.
Yeah.
'Cause I think that I genuinely am in no joking context. Like, not the nice guy, like, stupid joke. I'm just a genuinely nice person. I'm just a nice
Tip
dude.
fedora.
Yeah, there you go.
Scratching my beard.
I don't know. I don't think there's anything wrong with calling yourself a nice guy. I think there's something wrong with
Being
blaming
a nice
the
guy.
world
Just
for being
victimizing
a nice
yourself
guy.
because you can't get women. Because I'm fully aware why I can't get women. It's because I don't go right up to them and talk to them. It's because I look at them and go, "Oh man, she's pretty." Anyway, I'm gonna leave now. If I went
Yeah,
right up
take
to people and
initiative.
talked to people, yeah, I'm just not bold enough to do that yet. And in a lot of
I wasn't
cases,
either.
in a lot of cases, I
What
just
would
don't.
happen if we didn't have that? We're listening, Caleb.
I was gonna say it, like in a lot of cases I don't think it doesn't even matter because it's like I'm gonna be leaving here soon anyway. So it's like, what's the point of really making
Leaving the
anything?
planet.
I've already learned that I can't bone girls that I don't care about. So
What? You can't bone girls that you don't care about?
that was the whole Tinder experience.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
You fix that.
By getting rid of Tinder.
Well, that works too.
But I
Tinder's
still-
kinda gross anyway.
I still periodically go back and download it. It's a disease. It's a condition.
I think you just need to like. You just need to not be so frightened of the concept.
I don't want to talk about me being lonely. Let's talk about
You brought it up.
Towering lonely.
I didn't
We
bring
had
it
a
up,
wedding
but
recently.
now I'm taking it away.
Alright.
I want to talk about, why do you guys think booze is so popular?
Boobs?
Booze.
Oh.
Because it's.
I was about to say, man. I mean,
I could tell you straight
like
up.
I could tell you, like they're pretty. I mean, they're nice.
That could
you
be
know?
that could be a good side topic too.
Boobs and their effect on the universe.
Because
It's
alcohol
like a- it's
is
like an
one of those
Aristotle
things that
book.
affects your
You
brain,
wrote, like,
causing
shit
you to
posts.
like
Yeah.
Boobs and their effect on the universe. If I ever do a philosophy
They
post,
started
that's
and
what I'll
ended
title it.
wars.
Let me give you some advice. If you ever have a girl on top of you, it's always really weird looking if you're trying to like suck on a titty at the same time.
Not for sitting in a chair.
I mean, not if you're sitting in a chair.
That's this week's advice. Tune in next week when we have more stellar tips. When a girl's on top of you, don't try to suck that
6
titty.
tips and tricks to blow his mind and destroy his penis.
The facts and logic.
I was thinking, I think the only reason, like other than some people that like the taste of it, like that booze is really popular is it basically just gives you an excuse to act stupid.
Yeah,
Alcohol?
Yeah, because you can literally just go ape shit and go nuts, and then
Yeah,
wake
dude,
up the
alcohol
next
is
day,
gross.
and it's all excused because, oh, well, she was drunk. You know?
Yeah, in a way it
Depends
makes
on what
sense.
you do.
Just lets you be like the person that you're too afraid to be. You know.
Yeah. Like, you can just act stupid.
Go crazy and go
Yeah,
stupid.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you can. You can literally get. Yeah, you can literally think about it. You can get. I could get drunk, get into a car accident, and it'd be like, well, you were stupid for driving, but I mean, you were drunk, so it's a little understandable why you got in a car accident.
What?
You can just do stupid
No.
shit.
No, you
Yes.
No, you could not. No.
No, I'm not saying a cop would let you go. I'm saying you're talking to people about it.
Nah,
yeah.
every time someone's ever told me that they've gotten into an accident because they were drunk, I immediately fucking judge them. I'm like, no, dude, your moral compass is fucked up if you're fucking driving around drunk. and
Maybe not driving, but
crash
just
into
damn near
someone.
everything else.
Dang.
You
Well,
could
like,
run through a wall and people would be like,
crashing
oh,
bike.
he was drunk, you know.
Yeah.
I ran
There you
through a
go.
wall sober.
Because you're not hurting
Basically,
anybody but
anything
yourself.
you say
you know?
excused. Anything you'll say is like when you're drunk is pretty excused.
Yeah, exactly. You can do just damn near everything, and it's a good excuse. Oh, you were drunk. Like,
Yeah, guys, sorry about that World War II thing, only killing the Jews. I was really drunk that whole time.
understandable.
I just really wanted to get into art school. They wouldn't let me.
It's just like how long was that war? It's just like an 8-year fucking drunk rampage.
It was actually it was only 6 years.
Seems like a
That's
lot.
a long ass time.
How long?
No, World War I was longer.
Yeah, there was also like 100-year war and all sorts of crazy.
There was way longer wars.
Jesus Christ.
Well, I was just saying, like, considering all the stuff that happened.
Isn't the
You know
war
what's pretty
in
crazy,
Jerusalem
though?
still going on?
There was a
It's
100-year war at one time, and in 6 years, there was the most people ever killed in a war globally in 1939 to 45.
You know what I like
Jeez.
seeing? I like seeing the human well, it's gonna make me sound weird.
I like seeing the human population go down.
I don't like seeing it.
Thing.
It's interesting. It's when you look at like the human population since like blah 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 whatever, and then like it gets to the bubonic plague, and it's literally just like a.
It's like that. It's like that part of the
fucking
B
nuts.
movie. He's dead. He's dead. Dead over there. Dead over there.
It's fucking nuts.
The lottery. Contestant number 5, you have the bubonic plague. Go on down and accept your prize of boils and all sorts of other disgusting things.
Wants to have a heated discussion about something.
Bring abortion back up.
Do we
Yeah.
have heated
Yeah, let's get racy.
opinions?
Let's get nuts.
I don't
Let's
Do we have any
uh.
opinions in
That
here
was
about
really
abortion?
bad.
I'll tell you my opinion on abortion. I don't care. if like I don't have like this is one of those times where like I usually don't agree that like if I'm talking about women problems like I should be a woman or Like, I don't get to say. I usually don't agree with that type of thing, but like with like abortion, like I'm not the one taking the fucking baby out of me, and I'm not the one that has to be sad about it after. So that's on them. That's how I feel about abortion. I get like the moral aspect of it, but it's like it's not mine.
What about a fully developed child?
That's
fully
different.
It's
Okay.
okay.
Smash it at
They do post birth abortions.
Yeah, and there's like people who are
Well-
like trying to make that like a normal thing.
It's
like,
already legal
you-
in New York or
there's-
whatever.
I don't know.
There's
People
like-
keep
there's
talking about
this
these
law that's getting
post-birth
passed.
abortion thing, but like it's like all it is it's just making people scared about nothing.
Well, you saw
There's-
the governor or the mayor or whatever.
I
he
know,
said
but they're
that he was,
not.
like, resuscitated.
That, like it was a really shitty, stupid thing for him to say, but like he was obviously not picking his words correctly.
No, those were his words.
No, I know those were his words, but I'm saying that I don't think
Those
he
were
was
bad
picking
words.
them.
How do you
Well, what did
misconstrue?
he need to say then?
How do you
If that
misconstrue
wasn't-
that? He said resuscitate the baby, then make a decision from there.
What I mean, what would you do if your baby was born with some kind of
Yeah.
congenital heart defect and it had like a no chance of living and it was in
Yeah.
pain? What would you do?
I was gonna
That's
say
what they're
I've
talking
I've,
about.
I've
They're
actually
not talking about like
I was
killing a healthy baby.
I was gonna say I've actually done a bit of talking about this because when I first heard about that, I was like freaking out a little bit. I was like, because like, well, I'll get into why I was freaking out about that. It seems like what the idea is with that whole thing is it's a mercy killing for kids that are gonna die so soon. It's like they'll live the rest of the 72 hours that they have in agonizing pain that they don't even understand because they just are not even alive yet, basically,
And that should be up
and
to
then
the
they just
parents.
die. It's like at that point, it's just a mercy killing.
That should be up to the parents.
And that just seems like that. It seems like that's the application. Now I think the governor you guys were talking about, where it was like that press statement on Fox or whatever it was. I saw like a clip of that because we were watching Alex Jones and he was talking about that. And my problem with it is the logic that guy phrased. The logic was they're saying the one guy asked, he's like, well, it seems like for a while there the reason why abortions were kind of a thing is because they believed it was taxing on the mother, and since it was impacting her life, therefore she had the choice to like get rid of the child before it like blah 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 whatever. It was like saying that was effective in the beginning when explaining that it was still just like a preborn fetus or whatever. But now they're saying that even postborn, that because it's impacting the mother's life, that she has the choice to get rid of it. That's like the way they made it sound. The problem with that logic is if that's the logic that stands, then, you know, in a very extreme sense, very, very far down the line, if the logic is even after birth, if the child is impacting the mother, then she can get rid of the child. I mean,
No,
what's
that's-
eventually to keep it from getting a 6-year-old being slaughtered because it's still impacting the mother's life because it's still dependent on the mother.
It's like
I know you
just
can't
not
conceive
get
of that
pregnant.
right now. When you think about things like the Holocaust and how that happened, and all it took was a little bit of dehumanization, I think you can very clearly see that at some point an idea like that could get to that point if the logic stands.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't agree about killing babies that are already born that are healthy. I don't think that that's the case. At that
Yeah.
point, if you don't want your
There's
fucking
adoption.
baby, there's adoption. But I am saying that if you're having a baby and because look, like having a baby is like a huge fucking thing. It's a huge thing. Even if, because a lot of people use like the whole adoption thing, but like the truth of the matter is that you still have a baby in the world. So you're not going to want to give it up for adoption. So it's never people's second choice or first choice even.
So their first choice is to kill rather than just give it away.
Well, a lot of people don't see it as killing the baby. That's why, because it's not a life yet.
Well, if it's a full-born kid already.
Well, yeah, that's different because it's a child outside of like the womb.
That's why I always thought that there's like some law that's getting passed. I don't know in what country or in what state, but it's like a heartbeat rule, and it's basically like as soon as the kid has a viable heartbeat, then that's when it becomes a life, and you can detect it before it even has a heartbeat.
You know, I don't know enough about life inside of the womb enough to
Maybe
give an
I
opinion on it, but I can tell you this. I think that up until the moment you're born, you shouldn't be considered a fucking person. It doesn't make any sense. Maybe in like terms of like murder, yeah,
You think
I
that?
think you should.
Well,
I
what
think you
if-
should. I think if you kill a pregnant woman, you should be charged with double murder.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because you're just like picking and choosing a circumstance.
No,
I-
because the circumstance for one of them is you are deciding that you have the right to take some other person's life.
Yeah.
While the other one is, even if you view it as taking someone's life, it's your life to fucking take because you're bringing it in the world.
Just think of it like when you're making, let's say you run a business.
Genuinely.
Just think of it like you're running a business. I'm not saying that. Okay. you're running a business. It's like the separation of what I want to do to like leave an impact or have fun, and then what's economically feasible. That's all it is. It's just separating the ideas. Like in this sense, it's okay. In that sense, it's kind of fucked. Like it just depends on how you differentiate.
So do you think like somebody who like accidentally gets pregnant should
That's
have
another
the
thing that I was always
choice of just abortion because like they don't want the kid?
Yeah, man. I think that like I don't think that we need like more people. Like there's just a lot of kids that are in like foster care that need to be like adopted by people.
I think that's kind of a dumb argument though.
It's
No,
not
it's not,
though. Like there's
because-
so many kids in foster care right now that would love a home, and for someone to just like abort a child or something because they like are having like a because they just don't want a baby, but it's not going to impact the life. That's stupid.
Okay,
You know
so
what I
then
mean?
why not just further the research on contraceptives to the point where it just doesn't, where you just don't even have a kid in the freaking first place?
Well, that's the point. Abortion is just like a band-aid
Yeah, no,
over
I think-
the bigger
I think-
issue, which
I-
is just
I don't
sexual
think-
education.
I don't think that.
But I just think that like rather than spending all this time like judging and like figuring out like when is it a viable human, when is it not a viable human, we could be using
Well,
this
it's
time
all
to
stupid.
actually
It's
further
all a stupid
research
argument
this.
because we don't know what makes a person a human being. What at what point of someone's life do they become a human being?
It's a scientific and philosophical question.
That's
and
what I'm
also
saying.
religious if you
We
bring that
can't
into it as
answer it
well.
for sure, definitely, ever. So there's no fucking point in arguing about when it's okay to abort a baby. If you're having an abortion, you do need to realize that if it's going to be a healthy baby, you're taking another human from the world. That's just how it is. But I mean, if you're okay with
But if
having
it's
something
not,
like
it's
that,
not taking a human.
no, it is. That's what I'm saying. You are taking a human being from the earth because if it was supposed to be like a healthy baby, then they're not going to grow up to be a person. So
What
I'm
if
saying,
it's gonna have like something as small as just like a heart defect or something, but like they can still live, but they have to like take medication?
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing with the circumstances. I'm just saying that regardless of however you spin it, you are, because there's always a chance that people can live outside the womb even if they have something wrong with them. You are making the decision to take a human off the earth.
So then what gives you the right to make that decision?
I think that you're the one who made him.
I don't think it's a woman issue. It's just a humanitarian issue.
I don't.
That's where I think.
I think that it's a problem with people having unprotected sex that aren't ready for kids. I think that it's a problem for people who don't know how to use like a condom or something. Like I think people should have to live with the consequences of their fucking actions
but
all
they
their
don't
life,
know.
whether that be an abortion or fucking having a baby. You're gonna have a problem with either of them. You're gonna have to raise a baby from a very young age, which is gonna in turn affect your life, or you're gonna have to have an abortion, which it will still affect your life because you'll be guilty about it. So in many different ways, people still face the consequences of their decisions every fucking day. But it's just dependent on how they affect how they want it to affect their life. Would they rather feel guilt, or would they rather, have a baby?
So then this goes back to my point of just furthering research on contraceptives.
Yeah, I think I don't see the problem with that.
And also here's-
contraceptives.
I already told you that, but you already know as well. When I think my mom was 43, 45, somewhere around there, she had me. And to that, surprise, because I was basically like a whole entire generation behind like my brothers and sisters, because my brother's like I think in his 40s now, my sister's like heading into her like mid 40s as well, so like there's like a whole entire generation that like happened before me, so they constantly told her like all the time like, all right, you are of this age, there is a very high % chance that this kid will die or you will die because of this kid. And like, so like what is it? So then I guess it does come down to like the choice of it all, but at the same time I guess I can't say that I regret my mom's decision to bring me into this life, because they were basically like, you're too old to have kids, you should just live your life on right now. And if that were the case, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be sitting here with you guys.
Yeah, and I'm saying that, like I said, I think it's just
Like
a
they
personal
said, like they
decision.
literally said that I could, and I was like most likely to actually be like come out mentally retarded.
And that's another thing.
You're
is
right.
like is like that's
Look
that's,
at
Always,
now.
that's like
that's-
legit always a fucking joke, but like it's serious.
Sorry.
like so like that's what I'm saying though is like I don't think that in any circumstance like I think that you should be able to have an abortion, but like I don't think there's ever a time where someone should say like someone is this deciding factor whether or not you're having a baby. If someone told me that my kid was going to be retarded and I was going to have or Jessica was going to have a baby, I would still have the kid because that's a personal decision. I think that's a personal decision to have a kid. Even if you have a kid in the womb, it's like a personal decision to give birth to them.
Okay.
Because science and medical stuff
let's say
allows that.
that you agree on this,
Mhm.
but Jessica says, no, I don't want a retarded kid. I want to get rid of it.
Well, then that's something that they should have talked
Well, it's
about
something
before they had
that's
a kid.
something that you gotta work out.
Yeah.
It's something that you gotta really judge the pros and cons. It's not fair to people to say that.
It's almost a relationship problem at that point.
Yeah, it's not fair to people
Just
to
hates
say
retards.
that either one like one person gets to decide something over another person. It's
Yeah.
not fair to say that the whole world or the whole country should be without abortions because it's some way immoral, but we don't know it is immoral. Like people always use all this shock value news of like doctors taking fetuses out and like they show the fetus and shit. Like yeah, we get it. We know what goes on. It's not. But that image alone, it's a graphic image, so people are grossed out by it. But in like reality, like abortions help people. Like really, like sometimes they do help people.
Yeah.
And
That's what I agree on.
and I don't think that they should be taken away because of how people feel about. Like if we had decisive evidence when a human life begins and ends, I'd be all about fucking. This is when you shouldn't have an abortion,
See, that's
right?
why I think like the heartbeat.
I would never agree with someone doing a late term abortion. I would never agree with somebody having an abortion when the baby's like at 6 months. At that point, just have the baby. Like you're gonna have more trauma taking it out at this point than
Yeah, you had 6 months to figure that out.
exactly.
Yeah, then you're an
And at that
idiot.
point, you're fucked. Like
Yeah.
that is your baby now, or you gotta fucking put another fucking kid in foster care. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, why have to make that decision to have to either take care of somebody for 18 years and worry about them long term? Why do you have to make some kind of emotional commitment to that or
you chose
give
to
it
be
to the state?
careless in the
It
first
happens
place
at-
and have a kid.
Yeah,
But I
but
know, but I'm saying
people-
why should you have to punish the child for that?
I mean, they'd
It's
rather
more
be-
of a punishment to them.
the
No,
thing-
it's a
Because then
punishment to
you're
the child.
because then you're either in foster care
Think-
or you're living in a
Dylan.
low income neighborhood.
It's
Dylan,
kind of
think of
your
it-
fault though.
That's
No, it's not
still
the kid's
punishing the
fault.
child for
Think
it.
of it this way:
Right.
would you rather be punished as an organism or just non-existent as an organism? Because I
rather
would take the
not
punishment
exist.
every single time.
But you don't know what non-existing is.
That's a stupid argument.
I'm just saying you don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, as
so-
an
so
organism
you
on
would
the
of
planet
course
Earth,
choose.
Dylan.
You would of course choose to live because you're living right now. Well, that's a very. It's just you can't make that argument because obviously you're gonna choose to live
I don't think that. Yeah, of
because
course.
it's a biased argument because you're living. Is what I'm saying.
No, it's a biased argument because you're a biological organism.
No, but I'm saying to have the choice of being alive over non-existing, you have a biased opinion because you're alive. You've never non-existed. At least you don't remember when you did.
You're like arguing from
You know,
the perspective
people-
like an antimatter
No, but I'm
particle.
saying that I'm
What
just
do you
I'm just
mean?
saying that people
Yeah,
have
of course
not.
it's
there's-
biased.
You know, there's plenty of people who haven't existed and will never exist, and I hadn't existed
I
at some
think-
time, and I didn't have a problem with it.
I'm just saying.
so
I
I'm
think
just saying
I think
that.
that's a perfectly relevant argument that all creatures would rather exist punished than not exist at all. I think
But
it's a
you
perfect-
don't know that.
I would.
Did
But-
you have a problem with non-existing? Is what I'm saying.
Probably.
You don't know.
From this
because you don't
perspective, I have a problem with that.
You have a problem with
There's
non-existing,
a problem with death because I won't exist when that happens.
but you will exist in some way.
I get your idea of it's a biased opinion, but that's to me that just sounds so stupid. Trying to like yeah. So then explain the other side, Dylan. Like you can't. Like so, what the
Yeah,
fuck do
here-
you want me to do?
Here, I'll explain the other side, right? Would you rather live a life of fucking anguish and sadness because you grew up in a low-income neighborhood or somewhere like New Orleans, Louisiana, around a bunch of people who only want to bring you down and make you worse, and you just have to fall in line with that shit because the government likes to put fucking fucking alcohol and fucking pawn shops right fucking next to each other. You have to make decisions as like a young man at that point. But let's say that the person that you're the person giving birth to you is a single mother in a low income neighborhood. That's what I'm saying, is that people don't get out of that. What happens is that they rotate into the prison system and then they rotate into a grave.
It didn't happen to you.
No, it didn't happen to me, but I'm a different circumstance. I didn't grow up in I didn't grow up in the lowest of income neighborhoods, and I didn't grow up in the foster care system.
Louisiana still.
I'm
gonna say from this perspective, yeah, that sounds terrible. But I'm just gonna say that
I
think anybody would choose to exist punished rather than not
of course.
exist.
I think people would rather have the choice of bettering themselves than just like not have the choice of living in the first place.
Well, like life in general is just filled with suffering. So
right,
either
there's no way
I'm
around
saying,
even the
I'm
happiest
saying that,
of people
like,
for suffering.
I'm just saying that if you are having a baby and you don't want a baby and the baby is like at 2 months, there should be no reason why you shouldn't get an abortion. Wait a little bit, and because you already had a baby, go fucking adopt one.
Yeah,
because
that's why
I'm just saying that people should really think about life as just like it's expendable and non. It really is. It's all it is. It's just everyone's expendable in the sense that like you don't get to choose whether or not you're born. So if like everybody always wants to say, what would the baby say? You know what I mean? What would the fucking baby say? Nothing. The baby wouldn't say anything because the baby would never fucking exist in the first place. The baby doesn't have thoughts. So it's like I don't see a problem with it. That's all.
You know
I'm
what?
saying.
They thought the same thing about Bubble Buddy, and look what happened.
We got popped.
It's
like he got
Whoa!
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't.
He left.
He got
Left.
popped at one point.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
Didn't he?
I don't know what episode.
He had to
SpongeBob
remake
you
him.
watched.
He had to remake him. He
No.
got popped.
He hung out with Bubble Buddy all day, and then Bubble Buddy got in a car and he left.
Maybe it was all the fear of being popped.
Remember, he rolls away and says, "Happy Leif Erikson Day."
Yeah.
And then he's gone.
Yeah. No, but I just I don't know. I don't like to make decisions of whether or not abortion.
Yeah,
is
no,
like,
I think that it should be a decision.
it's
but
not something that I can choose. Like
just
I don't
saying,
have abortions. So.
In my like personal opinion, it's just like a heartbeat. Like
yeah, and I get that. And you have a personal connection
They
to
also
that.
feel pain at a
to
very
that belief.
Well,
So,
early
you have a
stage in
heartbeat.
development.
well,
Animals have heartbeats.
but you have a more personal connection to that, is what I'm saying. You have a more personal connection to your belief, is what I'm saying.
No, because my parents actually think that I should be completely against abortion for this reason.
That's what I'm saying. You have a personal reason to hold that belief, is what I'm saying.
I think ultimately the whole idea of abortion comes down to like, would everybody in relation to this child suffer more if it comes into existence, or what would be the better option for everybody? If this child's allowed to, make it to the foster system, would it suffer, but it'd be better off than not being alive, or would just everybody genuinely suffer more if it was here? Therefore, we should take its life in order that for it's almost like a Kantian sort of like utilitarianism, which I know none of you know what that means. It's basically just contributing to greater happiness. Would everybody in general be happier, including the child, if it wasn't alive?
I think it depends on the circumstance.
That's kind of the main thing, is that if I've seen a lot of lives in the news that they would have been better off non-existing.
Yeah,
I could say that unequivocally.
I guess I think there should be a choice.
Like literally, I've seen news articles of babies being born and then thrown into trash cans. Literally happened over here at the Amazon at the Amazon distribution center over here. Someone had a baby in the bathroom, then threw it away, and the baby died in the trash can.
Yeah.
I can think of non-existing being a way better fucking decision for me.
This is different. I mean, like it's
But that's what I'm saying. It's all about the
valid,
circumstances.
but
All about the circumstances.
they're just.
I think those circumstances are like they didn't want to tell people that they were pregnant, but they also didn't want to go with an abortion, so they just throw the baby away.
Well, then that
Why
person
not?
just-
What? But why wouldn't they want to go with an abortion?
Because they feel shamed about it.
Yeah, because they
That's
feel
the biggest
shamed.
thing.
Is what I'm saying. Like people shouldn't feel that way.
No.
Why? As opposed to what?
It's
Throwing-
like
People
a
shouldn't
very
feel.
sad-
People
Just don't get
shouldn't feel
pregnant.
ashamed
Well,
to take something
That's
out of
stupid.
them that, like,
Yes.
obviously having to
It's
make a
saying
big
just don't
decision
get in a
about
car
it.
no, it's
accident.
not, because people don't know what it takes to be like pregnant. Like, have you seen those stupid like things at my Pergonaut? Like, people don't know like what can get them pregnant, what doesn't, and then they end up pregnant, and they're like, oh crap! Like they're too dumb to know
Yeah, it's their fault
what
in the
gets
first
them
place
pregnant.
for
So
not
how are they
understanding.
smart enough to
I'm
raise
a,
a kid?
I'm a
after
big
that?
believer of men and women feel very different ways about very different things. So I think that pregnancy for a woman is a lot harder and like more emotionally taxing on a woman than it is for a guy.
You're also half of the equation to actually own
Of course,
a child.
Right,
but you're not taking on most of the risk, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You have impregnated somebody. If that person dies or if the baby dies, you will be fine either way because.
Not really.
You'll just
Well,
be
well,
heartbroken
Well,
if you
I'm not
care
saying
about the
that you
person.
wouldn't feel any kind of sadness because maybe you wanted a real baby, like maybe you wanted a baby, but I'm saying that like your significant other who is pregnant would feel a lot worse than you because the baby is connected to them in some way.
But isn't that just showing that it's like some sort of like other thing about being pregnant? It's like
Yeah, because there's an instinctual maternal love for your child once you know it's there. Once you know it's there, you have this instinct. You're supposed to have like an instinctual love for your child. That's why it's harder for women to make decisions about these things. That's why women will have a baby in a bathroom and throw the baby away rather than get an abortion, as to, you know, everybody judging them and like shouting shit at them. I mean, people literally sit outside those places and throw blood on people. Well, I'm not saying it happened. I'm not saying that's the norm, but I'm saying like nobody should have to go through that regardless of how many times.
Yeah, well, I mean that's just silly because like they're already any person that's doing that, either they're completely gone and they're not feeling anything, or they're going through a hard choice when they're making that choice. It's not an easy decision to make, or you're crazy. Like there's people that just like post shit like finally got rid of that parasite little bastard, better off in hell. Like but they're gone. You know?
But those people who post that are just being edgy for the sake of probably covering up the way they're really feeling on the inside.
Yeah. So like that's just fucked. You're just trying to make this really hard decision and somebody comes out and you're a murderer. It's just like balding 45-year-old man with a goatee.
Yeah. Like
go away.
Anybody like people who like people who have like a really strong stance about like abortion and like how you shouldn't have an abortion, like I just can't say I can't think of just saying like abortion shouldn't be an option for anybody, because if that was the case then like I don't know, I think the foster system would be huge right now. I think it would have even more kids in it than it does right now, and I think that non-existing is usually a better experience than living in the hands of the state for 18 years.
Well, what if you had like actual documents that you could show, like, and they'd have to do like actual research of where you live, like your income, like where, like just like your situation. If you only have enough income to support maybe yourself and barely somebody else.
You're saying like only like very necessary, like financially necessary.
Yeah, because if
stuff like that.
Then the kid just gets put in the foster system, but that would completely get rid of the whole foster system if you can, like, it guess not completely, but it would greatly reduce it.
But it's like, I feel like you should just live with your actions. Like, if you're too stupid to not know how to get pregnant, it's like you should just live with
I know,
your
but it's
stupid
really
actions.
easy to say from someone who's not pregnant and didn't make that decision.
Or smart.
If you were pregnant and you made a bad decision, you would not feel that way.
I don't understand how you can't see that such a bad. It's the same thing as just going like, just don't get into car accidents. Just don't have. Just expect the unexpected and never have things that you don't plan to happen. Why are you so retarded? Why are you getting in car accidents?
Well, how do you avoid car accidents? You don't get in a car.
I don't think it's. I don't think it's
my cock. Is that the argument then?
I'm just saying it's 100% effective. I'm just
saying.
Yeah,
cutting off a dick is 100% effective in being sterile, but that's.
If people, I don't think
it's
it's
not
the
a
same
valid
thing.
argument.
I don't think it's the same thing as
Not
saying
really.
Like getting into a car crash. I don't think it's the same thing. I think that abortion is a much more complex issue to say.
No, I'm not saying
because
abortion. I'm saying
but I'm saying like I understand where you're coming from, because it's coming from a place of someone who's never been pregnant and has never been in that situation.
Because I'm not retarded, like I said.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
They don't
Some
know that
people
they're retarded.
are fucking retarded. Then that's like most of the world.
No, but no, that makes no sense. They don't know the trouble that they're going to get themselves into, and then they have to live with the consequences that they didn't even know that they were going to be have to deal with. I feel like that's the government's job, is to provide education, and I think that, no offense to anyone here, but I think religion is the reason why we're stuck in this spot, because they make you feel shamed for wanting abortions. They preach abstinence, which is proven to not work. Like, there's a state down over by, or this county over by Texas, where they preach abstinence, and they have the highest teen pregnancy rate of anywhere, and it's crazy. And it's just there's it's just the government needs to do a better job of teaching sexual education. Religion needs to be not part of it, and then we wouldn't have this abortion issue because we'd solve the problem right when it starts, which is knowing what's going to happen if you do X, Y, and Z.
Right, like it's like saying, don't steal cookies out of that jar over there. That's what abstinence is. It's just like
It's not going to work because you're going to want that
Yeah.
cookie.
exactly.
Plus-
And it's natural to want that cookie. And
Plus, plus people.
Yeah,
No,
we want that cookie.
People don't think about the consequences when they make stupid decisions. Too.
especially if they don't know that there
So-
are consequences. That's my point.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I don't know.
Cookie fiend over here.
Nom.
It's just like I'm just imagining the most like retarded person on the planet. It's like
But it's not retarded. It's the people who are affected are the low income people. People that didn't go finish school. They didn't do that PE class where they learned about their growing bodies.
well, they're destined to just have a miserable life at that point. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they're stuck in a cycle that they can't get out of.
It's not. I mean,
It is a cycle.
it's just kind of one of those things. I don't know.
You're
Kinda-
either
It comes back to just like I don't care.
well then
you
why
know?
you have an argument in this if you don't care?
I'm just saying
He
like
likes to bicker.
not really.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just saying the people who are in those situations, it's just kind of like you're destined to just be
Yeah, but they
retarded.
don't know what they don't know. That's like you
I
can't
just
argue
feel
that.
abortion is one of those things that's like, it's such a touchy subject on everything because of everybody's personal views.
Yeah.
But if I feel from a scientific aspect, it should be a legal thing. It's just it's your personal morality that's going to be stopping you or not.
Right, exactly. And I feel like that your personality is where your choice comes in. Like, obviously, the people will make like a rule, like, okay, as soon as the baby's able to live outside the womb at like 5 months or whatever, you can't kill it. Like, whatever
5
law
months.
it is, like that's fine, that's the law. But then
Yeah.
your morals is what's gonna make that choice to like either have the baby or not have the baby.
Yeah, it's like, the way I see it also, it's like, it's probably a really shitty analogy for it. It's like, it's almost like for drugs and alcohol or anything like that. It's like, it's there, it's easy to get for everybody. It's just, it's your personal, if you want it or not.
Right, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no one's telling you to go smoke, at all, but it's like, well, if it's something you want to
It's
do,
your
you're gonna do
choice.
it. Yeah, exactly, it's
Yeah,
your choice.
it's your choice, exactly.
It's your morals and telling you not to do it or not. It's like, it's gonna kill you eventually, but like,
But so is
It's-
everything else.
yeah, like breeding kills you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
That's
just
why
feel like
people
it's,
die of old age because of oxygen.
I just feel like your personal morals
It's
or
poisonous.
Yeah, I feel
What
like that should
stops
be.
it?
Yeah, I feel like
What,
that should be
Dylan?
like a level.
The poison the
thing.
water hole. The oxygen hole.
That is true
That's
though.
what they call me.
That's why you die when you're old.
Oxygen.
Yeah, because oxygen is poisonous and it just kills you over time.
Very small toxicity.
Well, then how's the life expectancy gone bigger if you die?
It's like
If there are less unnatural things that are happening,
drop it.
I'll get paper towel.
or less things that are happening that can't be
Are you
cured.
guys trying to make an argument that oxygen is actually a tiny bit poisonous?
That's
It
Well,
is.
I mean,
It's not.
everything. No, but no,
That's
no,
a
no.
fucking. That's a meme.
It's
That's
not.
it's not
It
because
is.
literally the definition of like poison or whatever is enough of it like everything's poisonous. It just depends on there's like takes more things to kill you. Like that's the whole thing of literally everything will kill you. It just depends on how much of it will kill you. So it makes perfect sense that oxygen is poisonous.
Like maybe like concentrated oxygen injected directly into your mouth, but I mean like not like breathing air because your body needs air.
Oh yeah, it does. It's just
So it's not gonna. So listen, I'm confident that the millions of years that humans have had to evolve, their dumbasses did not make it so the thing that they need to live also fucking kills them.
Well, people need water to live, but if you drink too much water, you're gonna die.
That's if you like drown.
There is water drunkenness, and it's actually
Well, that's like if who the fuck dies from drinking too much water?
It's when you
Some
drown
girl
out
wanted to
electrolytes.
wee
yeah.
on like a radio show. She drank like 13 gallons of water or something stupid like that.
Oh no, she didn't die. I know exactly what you're talking about.
She
She
didn't
didn't die.
die?
No, she didn't die from that.
Oh.
People have died from drinking water, but it's not exactly a common thing.
Water is something that can kill you. Yes,
Yes.
but
Well,
it's
it's
not.
It's not because of drowning. If you drink too much water, it drowns out your electrolytes. You like dilute your electrolytes so much to where it like kills
Yeah,
you.
but water is something you need in like
The fact
in like bits, like you drink water sometimes to refill your energy.
Everything is in excess.
Like-
everything is in
You can die like
balance,
overeating.
basically.
I don't think you can die from an excess of air breathing.
Yeah, you can.
I don't.
No, I think it's
You
like a
can
baseline.
hyperventilate
Like you can
and
have
kill yourself.
this much before you start dying, and
That's
then
like
That's
not.
not like
You're not dying
It's
because
a
you're breathing in too much oxygen with that. You're dying because
yeah. Actually,
you're suffocating your brain.
Actually, I can tell you exactly why you die. It's not because you're having too much oxygen at all. It's because you're expending too much CO2. It throws off the pH in your blood, which causes your cerebrospinal fluid to differ in pH, and your brain can't handle that for very long. That's exactly why that happens, I'm pretty sure.
Boom. So
You know what's weird though is oxygen is only, as far as what I've learned through Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2, it's only used for just cellular respiration. And that's just to get energy. It's weird to think that you die from just not having energy. And you know what's funny too is when you drown, it's not because you can't get oxygen so much as it is you can't get rid of the CO2. It's really weird.
Is it true that when you take your first breath, you instantly go like of water, you just go unconscious immediately?
I wouldn't know.
wait, what did you say?
Because I was talking to my boss, like, I don't remember how it even came about,
You wanna
but like,
volunteer?
I was like, wouldn't it be awful just to drown and die? He's like, well, no, because your first breath, as soon as you take in that first breath of water, fill up your lungs, your body just goes
Yeah, no, you
unconscious.
pass the fuck out.
I believe it.
Every time you take a breath in, your lungs fill with oxygen. So if you're taking a breath in of water, your lungs are filled with water now.
Yeah, but like,
You get ammonia.
but, like, would your body just shut you off just like that?
I
Like,
mean, you wouldn't have any sort of oxygen to breathe to get to your head.
I believe it
So, I
because
mean,
at the point where you're drowning, that's a reflexive act of your body at that point where you reflexively you cannot choose to drown yourself. Like you cannot put your head in a pool and not go to breathe. Like you might be able to like muscle yourself. You can't drown yourself willingly. You have to drown, like just by chance. So at that point, I mean, you basically hold your breath until the reflexes forces you to. And at that point, I imagine there's a reason the reflex forces you to. And if you just are met with water, your brain's probably like, all right, we're fucked.
You know,
So I believe it.
Like for some reason, like I kind of doubt that you would go unconscious instantly though, because like even if your lungs did fill with air, if you took your first breath of like water, there's still air in your body. Your lungs, like if your lungs fail, you know you don't die immediately when your lungs fail. So it doesn't make any sense to me why you would die.
Yeah,
Why
you
you
do.
pass out instantly. No, you don't. You don't instantly die if your lungs fail.
I guess if your lungs like
There's
collapse
people
or
walking around
something.
with like half a lung today that are living.
Yeah, but like you don't like flail around.
Your brain
like,
can go, I
like,
think,
you know when you have that panic, like when
Yeah.
you're underwater and you're like trying to get to the top and you like start flailing around.
Yeah.
your brain can
But-
go for about, I think, 2 minutes without like
Yeah,
oxygen
you would
before
be
it starts
alive for a
degrading.
little bit. That's why drowning sucks.
Regardless of why that is, drowning, your lungs got chopped in half. You can go for about 2 minutes before your brain starts dying, I believe, without oxygen.
But isn't that because that's how much oxygen you have in your body to keep feeding the brain?
I don't know.
Like in your blood.
Yeah.
By the time it's exhausted its resources, it just starts dying.
If you were to karate chop yourself hard enough in the back of the neck, would you knock yourself out?
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can knock yourself out from your own pressure points.
What about punching yourself in the jaw?
Alright, guys, I'm out.
Just imagine a box just sitting in a
tired.
mirror, like, and then just clobbering
Oh.
himself.
There was this one day I was at work and I was hitting like 1 or 2 in the morning because I just stuck there and shit the entire night.
You choke
It's like-
yourself.
And I was planning on just karate chopping myself so hard in the back of the neck that I'd just pass out.
There's a lot better ways you could do that. Just slam your head in the countertop.
Yeah, you just see the camera footage and just.
Tyler's sitting there for 14 hours and then just like 3:03 a.m. just slam as hard as he
I
can.
actually
agree
clocked
with
out.
what
It
you're
was
saying.
13 hours.
The pizza and the
It was
fridge.
ridiculous.
There's
I
one
was like,
slice
you know
left.
what? This is 2 days of this. I'm done.
What other hot topics do y'all got?
Ooh, I don't know. That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm gonna be thinking about that like perspective of somebody that doesn't exist for a little bit now.
That's probably like the easiest college paper I ever wrote was abortion. Just because there's so many different views that you can argue against everything and fill up.
It's just a
all
weird problem because
12
it's
pages.
like you can take a purely scientific approach, but then that doesn't satisfy the philosophy of it. And then if you have religion, there's like 3 different answers depending on where you're drawing it from, and they're all valid in that sense.
Who do you guys want to be president in 2020?
Who's running?
Drumpf.
Donald Trump, Bernie Sanders.
Kanye West.
I think Joe Biden is running.
Definitely not Bernie Sanders.
He's like the last pick. Is it
Elizabeth
the Ben
Warren
Carson
chick.
guy? Is he running?
He's retarded.
He never ran in the first place.
He
I don't
ran
think he
last.
is. Yeah, Ben
last
Carson
one.
did run for president.
But
Yeah.
John McCain, just kidding, he's dead.
Comes back from the dead.
He did
That's
run
what
for
everyone-
president.
He did.
Yeah, he ran against
He ran-
Obama.
He ran against the bomber.
No, I'm talking about Ben Carson.
He never ran.
Yes, he
he
did.
did.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he
Carson
did.
ran.
He was in the
He's
Republican
He's
primaries.
the black guy.
No,
Yeah.
he never ran for
Yes, he
president.
did.
Yes,
Yes, he did.
Shut your mouth.
Because he said he didn't remember ever running. Remember
Well,
that?
that's because he's stupid.
Did you hear about that? Like, he asked
No,
him a question.
why
He's like,
would
I
say
don't remember
that?
ever running for president.
He's supposed to be a neurosurgeon. That
Yeah,
needs to get
that's kinda
his
scary.
brain
You know, like,
checked out.
okay, it's also one of those things where it's like,
He's just being funny.
Because he's so
it's so
embarrassing.
funny, it's like the whole Ben Carson thing. My grandparents were so for him just because he was religious. That was it. Literally, that's it told them. That's
That's
nothing
what
else.
that's
That's
all
a
that
high
has to
stake
drive
to hold
people
the president
sometimes.
And he's an African American.
It's just like because he was a man of God. He was gonna save the day. He's gonna be our savior. And I'm just,
I wonder what happened if we elected a president who wasn't religious. I don't think they would ever get elected.
I think you're getting as close to that as you'll ever get if you were electing Donald Trump a second time.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that Donald Trump, the only reason why Donald Trump's a Republican is because he doesn't like the Democrats.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Well, he said
He used to be a Democrat.
He said in an interview like a long time ago, like 20 years ago or something like that, that if he ever ran for president, he'd run in the Republican Party because he said that we're so stupid that it would be such an easy win for him.
I mean, yeah, and look where we
I mean,
are.
he was right. No.
I don't know. Donald Trump is just, he's a strange guy.
I feel like he just does what benefits his interests, but I mean at the same time.
I wish he wouldn't just like talk so much.
I don't know. I wish if he just shut his mouth, he'd be much better.
I think he'd look a lot better to everybody in the public eye.
I still don't. I really do not understand why Mexicans still think that he doesn't like Mexicans. He literally
Why
was
does
saying.
anybody think it? Like it's because people believe something to further their own fucking agenda. If they're believing that Donald Trump was racist, then they can fucking come on over here as much as they want, and you know what? If they get sent back, it's because the big old fucking racists fucking made him.
Well, it's
Big old Cheeto.
Literally, the only reason why people think that he doesn't like Mexicans is because he said that Mexico is sending over their worst. But he's referring to the illegal aliens,
Well, yeah, but
Which are
I mean, nobody reads
disproportionately
between the lines.
criminals.
So he has just a way with words that is just not a fucking smart thing. Oh my god, my fucking grandpa's old. I need to go visit him at some point soon.
Bring me. I love meeting my friend's family.
Well, you'll have to come fly to Louisiana. with us.
Potential.
So what's another devious topic you guys have?
I actually have to go.
Yeah, I think everyone's passing out. I wanted to real quick wrap this up by bringing in a more positive note because I feel like things got dark and
Tense.
No,
Tense.
dark and tense.
so why don't we go around the room and everybody talk about some stuff that happened this week or this month that they are happy about or
I
they
got some
liked.
stories, bro. Want to hear
Some
about my
stuff
love
that's
life?
happened to me.
Who needs to go like right now? We'll start with that.
Okay, well I'm gonna go pretty soon, but I'll just start it off by saying, the other day I was at work and I hit my friend's dad pen outside because nothing was going on that day, and I come back inside and I was pretty roasted for a little bit. And I was just sitting on my computer, and then I noticed that my former TL scheduled a year-end review with me in 5 minutes, so I'm like, fuck. So I go in there, and I'm like, alright, what's good? And she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, this fucking New Zealand video just got me kind of fucked up, you know? It's got me really sad, which in reality it did, but I mean... So you know what she did? She canceled the year interview and then sat with me for 30 minutes because she thought that I didn't want to watch the videos alone. And that was a nice thing for her to do, but also, that's not what I wanted at all. I wanted her to go away entirely. But that didn't happen. So she just sat there and tried to tell me best practices on how to do my fucking job. Bitch.
Invented it.
Well,
Also,
you're hogging the spotlight here.
alright, fine, I'll suck a dick. Who's next?
You want to go, Tyler? You seem eager.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, like
We finally got the long codes.
no,
What was that?
that was
fucking
long gone.
Cool.
Okay, so this girl that I was talking to, everybody, so we've been talking for quite a while, like about a little less than a month, and it's weird on and again, off again, like flirting, talking. She's like, oh, I'm not ready yet for a relationship, but I'm like, alright, well, I'm single, I can have no one else I'm interested in, fucking I'll wait for it. So, me being the weird, helpless romantic I am, trying to be nice and wait it all out, and be a nice guy and just flirt and be nice and just want to hang out and shit. And she's just all like, you know what? I'm getting back with my ex-fiance. And I'm like, whoa, fiance? And that's why she wanted to wait. It's because she broke up with a fiance like 2 weeks before I started talking to her.
Oh, so that's off officially now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's kind of sad. I was rooting for that.
So now she's back with him. And
What a Chad.
she's like, well, we'll still be friends. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Not like that, but like I'm nice about it. And then I went to go like see if she wanted to like hang out, or because I was gonna go do like event things, and see if she wanted, because it's in that general area for where she was at. And she blocked me from every kind of social media
Well, it
ever.
doesn't sound happy at all.
No, it's fucking horrible.
I thought we were talking about happy things. Oh no,
No.
I didn't say a happy thing either. Let's talk about horrible things that's happened this week.
But
Johnny. Oh, Tyler still got more horrible stuff.
God damn it.
Caleb.
but it just kind of made me realize in the long
She's
run
eating ass.
that I don't deserve that, and that I'm a way better person than all that.
You're right,
And it's kind of
Tyler.
made me. It just kind of like confidence boosts me in a little bit, in a weird, shitty, like masochistic way that was.
Mason.
'Cause it's like
Honestly.
she was pretty fucking hot, so it's like if I was at least able to get on her radar, then it's like, oh, that's pretty
nice
good.
when hot
Yeah,
girl notices you.
yeah, and it's like, okay, cool. It's like,
Real quick on a related note, today I ordered a Lyft driver to get home from work, and you know what happened? I saw the guy on my phone, and he was leaving. I was his first ride of the day apparently. I saw him. He was inside of Castle and leaving Castle. I was like, this dude's driving straight from fucking Castle. He's like, gotta get the dildos at 3, get my dude by 4:30.
For those of you unaware, my 3 viewers, Castle is a sex store.
I thought he had dildos on deck waiting in the car. I was like, let's get it.
In the cars, they're closing the glove box. Hey, I'm your Lyft driver.
Jessica was urging me to say something about it, but I was like, I'm not gonna do
You
that.
should have just been like, you ever been to that Castle store? I wanted to go there recently.
Yeah, man,
but-
they just got the Dildo Master 5000. I know all about that shit over there.
but basically, the end of my story is just like, even though like, all that shitty shit happened, it just kind of made me realize that like, I don't know, it just kind of made me a deep down person. It's like know what I want and don't want. It just kind of made me like realize what I am a person. Because it's like I tried my best. I was like the nicest guy I could ever thought I could be. And if it wasn't good enough for her, then no, oh well. I don't really care. And moving on. I don't got time for that shit.
Ain't nobody got time for that. That's how I feel about
What about you,
that
Johnny?
situation.
I've taken up Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu classes, and I've gone to at least 4 of them now.
How was that?
Oh, it's actually pretty cool. They teach me about 2 moves every time I go, so I know how to do like standard standing takedowns and what to do necessarily when it actually hits to the floor. And then also, my brother actually just had a kid, so
Oh.
it's pretty nice.
Well, congratulations.
So you're an uncle, huh?
I'm actually an uncle for the 3rd time.
You're a
an uncle.
gunkle.
I was actually an uncle the day that I was born because my sister actually had a kid as well.
So you had the same
So-
birthday?
No, close
Oh.
to the same birthday. She's about.
Is your nephew
a
older than you?
Month? No, I'm older than her. And then, like my second nephew is. She is that's crazy. I think she's about 10 now. And then the other one, his name's Thomas. He's just a little kid right now. Just was born about like a couple weeks ago. So.
That's so cute.
Mm-hmm. I live in
Congratulations.
Oregon too. Thank you.
My happy thing is I've just been visiting from college, so I just got to see everybody, and that was fun.
That sounds like a fun time.
That's all that's happened this week, and it's been fun. So
Hey,
that's
Johnny.
pretty much it. We hiked a mountain
What's up?
today, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, how was that, Caleb?
It was pretty cool, actually. I really liked it. It was fun. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be either, but it let me know that I have like more training to do if I really want to start hiking more often.
Oh,
Alright, Jeremy, say something.
This has been your daily dose of 97.3 The Buzz with Kip Harrington. Brought to you by EG Clothing. All the best thrifts at our shop. Come get them 15% off when you use the code MyDick.
Oh, that was really good till that. You could almost buy it.
Well, I got married. That was my thing.
You cut.
What about you?
Got married.
You got married too? You're copying him. You can't use that.
I got new collars for the cats today.
Hey. How about you, Mason? What's good with you?
You wrap it up, boy.
I got a second job.
You said that real happy. Real
That's a good
excited.
job.
Can I ASMR us out of this?
Yeah, but I might not leave it in.
What's this called?
Soupcast or the Soupcast, the Soup Kitchen of podcasts.
The Soupcast?
Soupcast.
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
You just enjoyed your weekly dose of the Soupcast, brought to you by EG Clothing. Come get your clothes 50% off at our new online store. Just remember to use codename Soup Kitchen at our online store.
Soupcast. Right. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to Soupcast. Sometimes the soup is hot, and sometimes the soup is cold, but it is always interesting. It is time to see what happens next time, and we'll see you then. Bye.
Like it.
You've just listened to the Soupcast.
What are
If
you
you
talking
feel like
about, Dominic?
subscribing, hit
I know
that
you just
subscribe
made a
button.
face.
If you liked it,
Wasn't it you?
hit that like button. Rather, smash that like button. Turn your notification bells on, and
Drink water.
drink some
Bye.
water.
Stay
Bye.
hydrated.